Now, the committee has met, and I tell you, there was blood and feathers flying. They were hacking each other's eyes out, trying to figure who gets the tickets for the Blues Brothers, but they've decided in their wisdom that May Davis, and poor May, who's got the eye problem and has to wear sunglasses, due to the fact that she would fit in with the decor, etc., of the Blues Brothers, there's a pair of tickets for you, May. And if Paul Irwin survives the weekend, having told everybody that his wife's 60 on Monday, he'll be able to take his old age pensioner wife, Claire, to the Opera House. He'll probably have to wear sunglasses as well to disguise the black eyes. But thanks to everybody who took part in the competition. It's nearly time for me to say bye-bye. The usual, I'll be back on Sunday night with the Sunday Club, just after 10 o'clock. And we won't be here on Monday. The programme's recorded on Monday, but the programme will be here on Monday. In the meantime, may I wish you a very happy, peaceful and holy weekend. And may the sun shine upon your endeavours. Time now to hand over to Gerry Anderson.
I enjoyed that.
What?
For God's sake, man.
This is a holy festival.
I'm the pastor.
This is a holy festival, remember?
I know, you hypocrite.
No, I'm not.
I'm Pastor Kenny.
You're
I'm the one
caring.
that's going to... That's very good.
Pastor Kenny.
Pastor Kenny. Have you any particular plans for the weekend? I'm sorry for being hysterical.
Yes, I have.
What would they be?
Personal.
That's okay.
Right.
I hear you're expressing regrets that unfortunately your programme won't be live on Monday. I wonder whose fault that is.
Just to preempt you having anything to say afterwards, because you'll be talking to yourself if you do.
I know, but...
What are you going to do when you can't get your CDs in time and I'm not there?
I'll just have to ask him to put the tape back and play a bit more.
Yep.
Let me have that 5 minutes again, please. But I like the crafty way that you imply that it's not your fault that the programme has been recorded on Monday, whereas we know different.
Did I imply that?
You implied that by... You said, unfortunately, our programme will be on tape on Monday. As if, they've imposed it upon you.
Did I use the word unfortunate?
No, but some word like that. I don't have a lot of words.
Perhaps.
Perhaps. Well, I understand. Let me not pry into your personal private business, but don't you think we owe the viewers a little more, John? Don't you think it's the least you can do, all the money that you... Oh, sorry, I'll bring that
Listeners.
Take that back.
Listeners.
What did I say?
Viewers.
I keep saying that.
You used to be in television,
I know, I can't forget it. I used to say viewers. When they're listening, don't you think you owe the listeners a little more?
See, if you thump that desk anymore, you'll break something.
They'll swan off on every bank holiday that comes, indulging yourself in your own evil ways.
How did you know?
Well, I was told where you were going. Going to Amsterdam, aren't you?
I wish.
The Reeperbahn in Hamburg. That's where I always go.
Is that where you nip off at the weekend?
No, I'll go to Thailand.
You get a nice class of person there.
Indeed, yes.
Well, so what have you got on what sort of big-name guests today?
We don't do big-name guests.
Oh, you don't? Oh, no, so what do you do exactly?
No, I've retired from celebrity-driven show business.
What do you do?
Did you not hear me retiring a few weeks ago?
Is that what you were doing?
Daniel... Daniel was the last straw.
Well, once you've done Daniel, I mean, you can't go any further.
No, you see, that was it for me. You see, I was always open to anything, as you well know. It's well known in the BBC.
My flight leaves very shortly.
Where are you going?
Amsterdam.
Say hello to the big fat one.
I'll bring you back a rock.
Say hello to the big fat one on the left. Excuse me a second.
Sorry, I can't hear John.
What?
Will you ask John, please, to give out the telephone number that he gave out about the Titanic exhibition, please? People are ringing.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. 90-24-6609. That's Belfast 246609. How was that for efficiency?
Very good. Did you talk to anybody about this?
No. I was just reading that out. But I'm talking to someone about this on Monday.
Well, I'm going to talk to somebody about it today.
Oh, it's all right. Well, it's okay. I hope you enjoy it. You mean you have a real person on your show?
No, you don't mind, do you?
I'm going to see the bulbs.
No, are you?
Yeah, the bulb fields.
How many BBC presenters does it take to change a bulb?
I'm not going there at all. I just said that.
I know
a red
that.
herring.
Do you know this? Can I just say this to you? I know I'm probably treading on your toes. I know you've probably arranged to speak to someone about the Titanic exhibition, but I was asked to speak to a certain person about it today because, do you know why?
Why?
Because there's a lady called Una Riley. She's the chairperson of the Titanic.
I know Una. She's a friend of mine. It was she who sent me those numbers.
Yes.
She's a lovely lady.
Yes, she is.
Are you speaking with Una?
I'm afraid so.
You're a very lucky lad.
But I'll tell you why. You see, remember you mentioned earlier on that I used to be on television?
Yeah.
Well, I did an interview one time with Melvinia Dean, who was one of the oldest...
She was supposed to come, but she's ill, apparently.
I know. She took a lot out of herself last year, apparently. But we did a whole thing on the Titanic with all kinds of things. And then they had an exhibition on in Greenwich Village.
Yes.
Not Greenwich Village. What do you call the other Greenwich? The real Greenwich.
Greenwich Mean Time.
Maritime.
Yes.
the Grand Lakes Maritime Museum.
Yes.
They had a whole exhibition on there, on the Titanic, and my interview was the centrepiece of it all.
I'm speaking with a man whose grandfather was a first-class steward on the Titanic. He's actually speaking in the City Hall today at 12:30.
Well, that's
So there you are, Mr. Littlejohn.
I suppose Little John?
Yeah.
I suppose that would interest someone. Here's something that perhaps people didn't know.
That's 4 minutes, 30 seconds.
I know.
by the way.
Can I ask you something?
My meter's going.
On the Titanic, what was the fare for third class passage?
I think they went on air miles, didn't they?
No, not then.
£2.19
No,
and
no,
6.
this is interesting, John.
How
This is
much?
interesting. Third class passage was £8.
That was dear.
Second class passage was £12, right?
Yeah.
First class passage was £30. Now, first class luxury passage, how much do you think that was?
I'm losing the will to live here.
Bearing in mind that first class passage was £30, what do you think first class luxury passage cost? Let me tell you.
£56 4 shillings.
£500.
What did they get for the extra?
Shrimps.
Frozen.
No, and a life jacket. Thank you, John.
Are you going to play something suitably mournful and lugubrious?
I'm going to tell a great Frank Carson story today because I always tell a Frank Carson story on a
On a Good Friday, yeah.
I'll talk about it later. I don't want to share it with you because then you may get some of the glory.
Can I go?
Yes.
Happy Easter.
Have a nice weekend.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. I kept you too long. I know, John. I'm sorry.
Never let it be said.